Fidelis Care offers quality, affordable health coverage for children and adults of all ages and at all stages of life. Quality health coverage, it's our mission. Call 1-888-FIDELIS or visit fideliscare.org.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. Each and every week at this time, we're going to take a look at our local college sports programs. We begin this week with the honor roll of local college athletes, brought to you by M&T Bank. At M&T Bank, we're listening, learning, and working hard to understand what's important to Western New York. It's what we've been doing since 1856. M&T Bank, understanding what's important. In at number 3 is Isaac Garcia Casani. He's the D3 national champion in the mile. The 6-time All-American is only Geneseo's second male individual national champion, along with Sam Randall, who won the 3-meter dive title last year. At number 2, Kylie Bartlett of the University of Rochester. She won the national championship in the pentathlon. The multi-event star is the first individual champ at U of R since 2006. And topping the list, Alexa Wandy of Geneseo Track and Field. She won 2 national titles at Naperville, winning the triple jump and the long jump to become the first to ever win 2 national titles for Geneseo at one event. Well, it's time now for our local college spotlight athlete of the week, brought to you by Ralph Honda. This week's athlete of the week brought to you by Ralph Honda, where they've been doing it right for 3 generations. Visit their new showroom or find your next car online at ralphhonda.com. We're taking a look back at some of our favorite stories from the winter sports season, and that brings us to Geneseo and the story of inspiration and triumph over tragedy. Here's Kim Burnson.
That basket was by junior Kara Houppert. Before the game was much older, everyone knew who she was.
Roots run deep when it comes to Kara Houppert's family tree. Though she's branched out to pursue her own opportunities, family always came first for the Geneseo senior. Kara began her post-high school career at Slippery Rock University on a full-ride scholarship, but soon realized her heart remained back at home.
Once the start of the season happened, and then I went home for my first break. It was Thanksgiving. I started to notice that my brother, who I hadn't seen in a month, which was crazy because I used to see him every day, he wasn't doing too well, and it kind of changed my perspective on things, and I realized I'm not home for him, and I don't have the ability to come home all the time because of basketball, the distance I was.
Kara's older brother Mark has learning disabilities and was diagnosed with early onset Parkinson's disease at a young age. That hasn't stopped the two from bonding over the sport they love most.
I don't think I would be where I am in basketball if it wasn't for Mark. He is outside shooting hoops, running around the neighborhood every day, and I was like, I gotta get out there, I gotta practice. Mark's really my drive, he's my inspiration. He's so passionate about sports. He's been to all my games, so I play for him, and because I know if he had the chance, he would be doing this with his life. So I just want to play through him, and he comes to everything, and he'll be here tonight, so I'm excited.
The Houppert family never misses a game. Their support radiates throughout the gym as they cheer on their daughter from the stands.
And to have quality young ladies generally happens because they've got good families, strong, supportive families at home. What Kara's family has, especially with the bond with Mark, is something that's truly special. And I think that my players, my coaching staff, even my family would tell you that it's special to be around. It's something you don't see every day, and it's as an outside observer that has had the opportunity to be a part of it, it's truly a joy.
Though her family is what helps drive her on the court, she's also been inspired in other ways.
But I have to say, my brother Mark was kind of my inspiration to get started with charity work. I worked Special Olympics when I was really young with him, and I wanted to be a part of things he was in. And they told me I was too young to volunteer, which I thought was kind of strange. So I was like, what more can I do? And that's when I started Kara's Cans, and I raised money collecting cans and bottles with my little red wagon. And I went around the block, and I was able to buy Mark and his entire team sweatshirts, which I was really excited for. And that kind of just carried Kara's Cans into what it is now. I've raised over $11,000, and I've been able to give it to local families, charities, the Galveston Children's Hospital, any organization that needed extra support. When I become a teacher, my biggest thing will be instituting volunteer work in my classroom, because I know volunteer has shaped me into the person I am, and I want to instill that in the children I teach.
Kara is averaging 8 points a game and helped lead her team to an undefeated first half of the season. But aside from her contributions on the court, she has united her team by taking them from friends to family.
I truly don't think we had any idea of what we were getting in terms of a leader. With everything this program's gone through in the last 12 months, quite frankly, we probably don't get through it without her leadership. That's how remarkable she is.
I mean, we're having a great start at 15-0, which I know we've worked really hard for, and we're very humble about it. I think we just got to keep doing everything we can to improve every day. We're looking to host SUNY if we can and make our run back into the NCAAs.
Kara's very, very selfless. She's compassionate. She's the team mom that is really a critical piece of keeping team chemistry going in the right direction, and that's, team chemistry is a huge reason we've had the success we've had the last several years. So obviously she's been a big piece of that.
I'm Kim Burnson with the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat.
When we return, JC DeLass welcomes Nazareth volleyball coach Cal Wickens into the Coach's Corner. And later on, Kim is back with our Scholar Athlete, brought to you by Dave. We'll have that and more when the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat returns. As we head to break, here's a look at the Nazareth Athletes of the Week, brought to you by Nazareth College. As we come back from break, here's a look at the Geneseo Athletes of the Week, brought to you by SUNY Geneseo. Welcome back, and thanks once again for joining us on the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. Each week, JC DeLass from WYSL Radio is going to help us get to know an area coach better with the Fidelis Care Coach's Corner. The Fidelis Care Coach's Corner is presented by Fidelis Care, quality health coverage. It's our mission.
This is JC DeLass with this week's Fidelis Care Coach's Corner, and our guest this week is Cal Wickens. He's the head men's and women's volleyball coach at Nazareth College. Coach, you joined Nazareth in 2003, first as the women's team coach, then a couple years later building the men's program really from scratch. What have been some of the challenges building up two successful programs here?
Well, first of all, the school, Nazareth, kind of fit into the type of environment that I wanted to be in. D3, developing academics, a little bit of structure. I came in originally to start the men's program a year early, and there were a couple kids that, a woman that left as a very successful coach, and it was late, and they're like, hey, what about doing our women's team for the year? And I had a couple kids that played juniors that were at the school at Nazareth. And at that time I was working in the culinary arts business and said, hey, I can do that. So I recruited for the men's and coached the girls for the first year. And then it snowballed into, hey, can you do both programs? And it worked out, I think, well for both of us.
When you're coaching a men's team versus a women's team, do you have to change your approach at all, or do you try and keep it the same no matter what, if it's men or women?
Well, I'm a little bit old school in this. I teach the women to run a men's office, and I teach the men to defend like women, which is closer to the ground, and the girls become more offensive, backcourt attack, big physical game, even though we're a D3 team.
When you're out recruiting and looking for kids to come here to Nazareth College, is there a certain type of student athlete you're looking for to fit into your programs?
Looking for a student first, then looking for an athlete and then looking for a kid that can be coachable. So in Division III, you have kids that have been in different volleyball environments, but probably haven't been 6 years in by the time they're a senior. So they're not maxed out. They're a kid that might be from a smaller school in one of the outlying counties, or just, in Ohio or New Jersey. They're a kid that's up and coming, only been playing for 3 years, but never had a very traditional or structured coaching system. We're very good at training kids physically, and then we're really good at concept of the game.
You recruit kids nationally. You talked about it, going around to different states and bring them here to Nazareth College. But I know it's also important for you to get the best local players you can, too.
Well, the local scene is, first of all, is a really good scene. Like, I want to say the girls volleyball has been pretty solid for the D3, and we have a lot of kids that go small D1. The men's side of the junior thing, we have in this area right now 7 kids that are in the national program. They're on the top, either the U.S. Youth National, Junior National, or Select A1 teams. So men's volleyball in this town, this is a place where they're recruiting. Ball State's here, Pepperdine's here, UCLA's here, USC, every year. And you know what? Volleyball is pretty good in this area.
What's the best part about coaching at Nazareth College for you?
Well, first of all, it's a great school. It's extremely supportive. One of the reasons why I've stayed is our cadre of coaches, athletic people, Pete, Joe Sile, are really out for a solid athletic program in a really good academic environment. So for me, you get the right kid academically that comes in, you see their success, and you put them in a great volleyball environment. Whether we're Sweet 16 in the girls or we're a national runner-up with the guys, it's a good fit for me.
Thanks for joining us, Coach.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching this week's Fidelis Care Coach's Corner.
Up next is our Scholar Athlete, and later on, one of our favorite team profiles from the winner. We'll have that story and more when the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat returns. Before we go to break, here's a look at the RIT Athletes of the Week, brought to you by the Rochester Institute of Technology. As we come back from break, here's a look at the SUNY Brockport Athletes of the Week, brought to you by the College at Brockport.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat. I'm Kim Burnson. It's time now for our Scholar Athlete, brought to you by Dave, Digital Audio Visual Environments.
Where can you go to get expert advice and installation on TVs, sound systems, and automation for your home, car, or business? Come see Dave, Digital Audio Visual Environments. ComeSeeDave.com.
Our Scholar Athlete this week is SUNY Brockport's Hannah Cullen, recently named Athlete of the Week for the Golden Eagles. Hannah has been a standout lacrosse player, and she's a former 3-sport varsity athlete and has participated in volunteer work for Making Strides Against Breast Cancer and the Walk for Autism, all while pursuing a degree in nursing. For her work on the field and in the classroom, Hannah Cullen is our Scholar Athlete, brought to you by Dave, Digital Audio Visual Environments. Now here's Dave Yates with a look at our college calendar.
Here's our local college calendar for the week ahead. Tuesday, the Nazareth women's lacrosse team hosts the University of Rochester at 4 p.m. Also Tuesday, the U of R baseball team plays Brockport at 4 at Towers Field, and then hosts Cortland on Wednesday at 5. Wednesday also sees Brockport baseball go to Fisher to play at Dugan Yard. A couple of lacrosse matchups on Wednesday as well, with the Geneseo men visiting Fisher at 4 o'clock, and the Geneseo women are on the road visiting RIT also at 4. And finally on Saturday, it's more lacrosse action with the Geneseo men hosting Olivet at 1. And now here's how some Section 5 alums are doing at colleges outside of Rochester. It's a segment we call Postcards from College. Anthony Lamb from Greece is going to the big dance. He was named American East Tourney MVP and also was named Conference Rookie of the Year as the Catamounts head to the NCAA tournament. Ernie Clement from Brighton is off to a very good start with Virginia. hitting .301 during their first 16 games. Aiden Falk of Mercy continues to hit well for Michigan, batting .302 with 17 RBI through 19 games. And Victor grad Emily Hauerschuk started her college career with a 4-goal game versus Boston College. She now has 14 goals overall so far for Cuse. Well, coming up next, our honor roll of teams, and later on, Nazareth hockey is learning to fly. We'll explain that one and have more when the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat returns. As we head to break, here's a look at the Roberts Wesleyan Athletes of the Week, brought to you by Roberts Wesleyan College. As we come back from break, here's a look at the St. John Fisher Athletes of the Week, brought to you by St. John Fisher College. Welcome back. Thanks once again for joining us on the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. Here now is our honor roll of local college teams. We're going to start off at number 3. It's Brockport Wrestling. They saw 2 wrestlers earn All-American status at Nationals, with John Haas finishing 3rd at 125 and Tristan Engel finishing 4th in D3 at 197 pounds. U of R men's basketball fell in the Elite 8 of the NCAAs to number 1 ranked and undefeated Whitman, 91-87. Senior Zach Ayers had a career-high 27 points in the loss in what was one of the Yellow Jackets' best seasons in their 100-year history. And topping the list, Roberts Wesleyan women's basketball defeated Ohio Christian to win the NCCAA Midwest Regionals and advance to the national tournament, where they will look to defend last year's national title win. And now it's time for our Spotlight Team of the Week. We're looking back at some of the best of the winter season, and that takes us to Nazareth, where the hockey program is learning to fly. Here's Bill Pucko.
It's so light. It'll show kind of the movement.
Nazareth is still a relative newcomer to intercollegiate hockey. The Golden Flyers program began just 5 years ago in the 2012-13 season, which ended predictably with a 6-19-1 record.
When we started, the biggest thing was we wanted to bring in character kids. We knew we were going to go through some growing pains, and we wanted guys that first and foremost had great work ethic and good character. And I've been in it a lot of years, 30 years, but these past 5 years, even though our record hasn't been the best, it's been probably 5 of the most enjoyable years I've had because of the character of this group.
Things improved, and Naz actually had a winning record 2 years ago, and recently scored what has to be considered a signature win. A 3-0 shutout of number 1 ranked Oswego behind freshman goalie Michael Tilford's 25 saves in just his 2nd career game. Is that something a relatively new program needs? Is something that you can say, we did that?
I would say for sure, obviously Nazareth has had some big wins in the past, but in the locker room after the game, guys were saying they think it's the first time we've ever beaten a number 1 team, and that's definitely a big step to help building the program into powerhouse we want it to be.
The Flyers' efforts the last 3 seasons have been boosted by a legitimate star, Dominic Gabai. Gabai led the nation's junior college scores at MCC with 38 goals and 50 assists while earning All-American status. MCC dropped hockey after that season, and Dominic wound up at Nazareth, where he's been the leading scorer, averaging nearly a point per game over 3 seasons.
I wanted to play junior hockey in U.S., so I went for trials, and then I played a year juniors in Idaho, and then the coach from MCC called me, and it was pretty much my only option, so I came here, and then George talked to me during the season, and I decided to come here.
He played here at MCC before they dropped their program, and he just fell in love with the school. He's a very good student, has done well academically, and you know, it wasn't the greatest hockey that he was at, but you could see the skill level and the talent level when he played. And, you know, it's been a good match for us. He's been probably our most gifted player in the 3 years he's been here, and we're certainly glad he made the decision to come here because he did have other options.
Nazareth hockey players come from 10 different states, while Gabai arrived via MCC from Slovakia in Eastern Europe.
Well, it's a small country. I think it's smaller than New York State, so it's not a lot big, but it's nice. It's always good to come back home. So.
But you know, what's it like? What did you like most about it, or maybe some connections that you make from there to here?
I think it's pretty much the same as here, like the weather and everything. So we have mountains. I don't know. It's not that different than New York State. So.
That signature win over Oswego came at a tournament in Vermont that saw the Flyers play both the number 1 and 2 ranked teams in Division III.
Right or wrong, in the 5 years I've been here, we've played probably one of the toughest schedules in Division III, and this year is no different. We've played, I think, 5 of the top 10 teams in the country, and it may be a little too much, but I know our guys enjoy that. So we went up there and played Norwich, who's number 2 in the country, and at the time Oswego was 1, and we're very competitive. We're able to get a win in one of them, and you know, I think it makes us better in the end. But yeah, I do like where we're at. I mean, obviously we'd like our record to be better, but you know, if we can get some scoring, I think that's been our biggest shortcoming. Is we just don't find the back of the net. We generate a lot of chances, but I think that'll come if we continue to work hard.
From the Bill Gray's Iceplex, Bill Pucko for the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat.
Well, thanks everyone for watching, and a special thanks to our sponsors, including Fidelis Care, for making the College Sports Beat possible. We'll see you back here next week.